Welcome back to Chocozone. After our amazing trip in Peru, we are back in Europe. We are in one of the European royal houses of chocolate. We are in France. Here, the chocolate is really popular, but a very important quantity of the chocolate brands are industrial chocolate, melted and retempered. There are someone that started creating their own chocolate from cocoa beans. One of the most famous and important is in Lille, and he is our guest, Antoine Maschi, co-founder of Chocolat Encuentro. Now, it's time to stop myself because we start to enjoy another episode of this podcast. Welcome back to Chocozone podcast. We are really happy to have you again in our podcast, and we are so proud that there are always more people that is following us. This seems that chocolate is always more loved, and that our project with this podcast is really good. Thank you, and now it is time to introduce our guest for today. We are in France, in Lille, where we have a Bintu Bar chocolate maker that is the essence of Bintu Bar. He arrives from another field, from another profession, and he started also in a difficult country for the competition of chocolate that is, there is in France. But he found a great success. He has been good, so it is time now to introduce Antoine Maschi, the owner of Chocolat Encuentro. Hello, Antoine. How are you?
Hello, Humberto. I'm fine, thanks. Nice to
Hi,
meet
Antoine.
you.
Hello.
Hi.
So you are in Lille.
Yeah, I'm in Lille.
So before of all, like for all the guests we have, please introduce yourself. Tell us something about you.
So my name is Antoine Maschi. I have an Italian name, but I'm French. And I created the chocolate factory named Encuentro with my wife Candice. And we started in 2017, the Encuentro project. And the company is now 4 years old, and we have around 10 employees. And we are distributing our bars mainly in France, but more and more abroad in the US, Canada, and Asia. And but yeah, you're right. At the beginning, we were not supposed to become chocolatiers or chocolate makers. We started with something very different. We are like self-made people. We are engineer at the beginning. So, but 8 years ago, we went in a very strange project. From a day to another, we started a chocolate factory in Dominican Republic, and that's how we jumped into the chocolate world. It was 8 years ago.
Why you decided to go in Dominican Republic? I mean, why? I think you were feeling, something strange because you were entering some sort of competition in France. That it's, one of the highest consuming chocolate country, and so you decided to go in South America. First question is why, and how did you feel to come back in France, in such a country, and to start a business that you found, I guess, a lot of competition?
2012, we were not thinking about creating a chocolate brand in France. We wanted something different. We wanted to travel. We wanted to create our company, and it happens that we wanted to do it in Dominican Republic because we knew this country. Candice had lived there for years before, and we had friends over there. And one day, with friends that became partner, we decided it could be chocolate. And so during the summer 2012, we flew over there and we started looking for searching how we could create a chocolate factory over there. So we started from scratch. No suppliers, no packaging, nothing. We were hanging around with candies in a lot of not really safe markets in Dominican Republic, in Santo Domingo, looking for the printer, all suppliers. And in 2 months, we managed to create a chocolate factory. Because over there you have a lot of it's easier than in France or even in Europe. You create a company, you can hire people, you have a lot of tourists, so everything happened really quickly. And we opened 2 months after starting with 15 employees, and we had 400 people every day coming to the factory.
So in that very moment, you wanted to stay. Your plan was to stay in Dominican Republic.
Plan was to stay there, and I didn't answer one question. Is the reason the question was why we decided to go there? Because we wanted something different, another life. We wanted to live adventure and to live something else. But there was no logic. Nothing was logical at this time. So purely entrepreneurial feeling.
And how did you start with chocolate? Did you do some classes? Where do you learn to make your chocolate from the cocoa beans?
So over there, we learned with our partner over there. We were actually not making chocolate from scratch over there because there were only very small machine, 2 kilogram grinders, and we didn't know exactly how to roast perfectly over there. We didn't have a roaster, so we were buying directly cocoa paste from the cooperative Conacado, which was around 100 kilometers from the factory, but it was 7 hours driving.
Wow, yeah, I know the street there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were buying cocoa paste, and we were making chocolate in the small grinders afterwards. Dark milk and even white chocolate because we were buying cocoa butter. But at this time we were already doing organic chocolate, and we wanted to start from scratch, but we needed to learn. And so the first part we learned sur le tas. I don't know how to say that in English, but we learn ourselves how to temper, how to make chocolate, and the second step was to roast. But a year after we arrived, as I told you, we had to flee, and we didn't have time to experience roasting and the whole process, and we went back to France.
And now that you are in France, when you moved back to France, which year?
We went back to France in 2013. A year after we started the Dominican Republic project, we had to leave it overnight and leave the 15 employee. And we took the first flight we could because we were threatened, and we went back to France and started a new life. No chocolate, no cocoa. We didn't want to talk about it. And it took around 4 years to Candice and I to go over this, to have a great feeling instead of bad feeling when you think about cocoa, chocolate, and Dominican Republic. And at the time, it took us to imagine what could be the next project and what could be, and it was Encuentro growing in our head.
So just explain which is your production right now. What do you produce with chocolate, and in which are the main markets where do you sell your chocolate, your bars?
So today we are Bintu Bar makers. We are making everything. We are roasting and we are making chocolate. Everything is done by us, and we are mainly. I think we are maybe the only one chocolate makers in France. We don't want to be the one, but this is what we are. Maybe the one without a store.
Okay.
We have a factory, and we have partners that distribute our chocolate all over France and abroad, but we don't have a shop because we didn't want to start putting money in a store when you don't know if it's going to work or not, because you can have clients one day and no clients on the other day. You have to work on Saturday, you have to work on Sunday. it's very complex to manage a store. So we only have a factory to focus on the quality of the chocolates. Our main purpose is chocolate making and quality. And the second subject is how can we sell it? And so we sell it through what we call in France épicerie de qualité, which means quality grocery stores, I think. They select plenty of product. They're very craft product from very different area, and it's a very precise selection. And we only distribute to them. We don't go to in supermarket. We don't. We don't want to be distributed even in organic shop, because this is. We want that someone select our bar and can talk about the story, the bar, and how it's made. We don't want to be on a big supermarket line and where people only select by the price.
And abroad, which are the countries where you sell more in the world?
It's only the beginning, because to be honest, exporting is very complex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each time we started exporting, it was a nightmare. So we have been focusing a lot on what is our main market, and it's France. But we are selling more and more in the US and Canada, and Asian market is developing, but we are not pushing this button.
Okay, so if France is your main market, I mean, when you started, I believe that in a country where basically the commercial chocolate is the one that the consumer is used to. So when you started, when you entered this business, how the French consumers, which was the feedback from the average French consumer? It was a very new chocolate. I mean, someone that is talking about roasting and all the process you make. No? So it was kind of different from the usual. I probably not think that there were very few chocolate makers from the bean. I don't know if Bonnat is one of those.
Is one of those. Morin, you have Marou, you have, but in 2017, when we started launching Encuentro, we were part of the few brand making chocolate from the bean. But this is not what we wanted to sell, because to be honest, if you want, in 2017, if you want to create a chocolate brand, you make a market study, you see that there are hundreds of brands. The market is just flooded with brands. You have a big chocolatier, you have the best craftsman in France. You have to have someone behind you to back you, to support you. You have to come from a background in chocolate making, or in you have to be in pastry, or I don't know.
Yeah, pastry,
We didn't have that. So we were no one starting a business flooded with brand of chocolate.
And this is amazing, really.
And no one knew, and French like people to have award or to be recognized as someone, and we had nothing of that. Okay. So the best advice you could have given us in 2017 was just do not try to do that. This is not the right business to launch. Even more because it's costly. You have the machine, you have the cocoa bean to pay. It's a lot of money to spend in advance before getting the first euro back. I think that there are a lot of people not knowing that, but when we buy a cocoa bean, the money we pay it at the back of the truck, and the first euro we get from it, it's probably 9 months afterwards. Wow. Because we let the chocolate maturing, aging.
Yeah.
And you have to store it, and so it's a business that requires a lot of money. So when we started, we were no one, and we just tried to tell our story. Starting in Dominican Republic, that's why we selected this name Encuentro. But even the name was not a good idea in France, because in France you have, for a product like chocolate,
you need a French word.
Yeah, chocolate is part of our world
Culture.
since over the last 200 years. So if you want to create a chocolate brand, you make chocolate, you study chocolate, you work with someone rewarded, you create your chocolate factory, you put a French name. That would be how people should do that. We didn't do that, and Encuentro was a Spanish name, and we went with an identity that was completely different from what was existing. All people were saying to us, you shouldn't put a white chocolate white packaging, because chocolate is dark, and you should use a brown or dark thing, dark packaging. You shouldn't use cocoa pod, because people don't know what it is. But that's why we decided to use it. And so we decided the best thing to do was to just do what we wanted. So create a chocolate factory, tell our story, and make a chocolate that would not be what people would expect. We never asked people, what would you do as chocolate? Which chocolate do you like? Do you like our chocolate? Should we change something? No, we didn't do that. We create our chocolate. We bought many bags of cocoa beans. We turn it into chocolate, and then we create the brand. We mold it into bars. We couldn't go back, actually.
Yeah.
But you've been successful. I mean, at a certain point, you've been successful. I mean, after a few months,
You are growing.
You're
With well.
After a few months, when we started, there was the early adopters were there, but it was difficult because some stores were not opening the doors to us. So during a year, during 6 to 8 months, it has been very difficult because we were spending money. We were, walking and meeting a lot of people to explain our story, how we were making chocolate. And it was growing, but very slowly. So not really reassuring. But we had a feeling we were in a good direction, because we were liking what we were doing. That was the main thing. And the sales was increasing, but they were so small at the beginning.
I understand.
And 6 months later, we won the first chocolate awards for 3 of our bars. At the same time, we have been introduced to what we call Collège Culinaire de France, because we had the chance to have a meeting with Alain Ducasse, and we came across it in a salon and in a gastronomy fair. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah.
And we just say, "Hey, hello, Alain. We are chocolate makers." So Candice and I were together, and we were like, we should grab it. We should manage to talk to him. And so we finally managed, but there are so many people around him, and we just say, "Hi, we are chocolate makers. We are making chocolate from the bean, as you're doing," because he has a chocolate factory.
okay.
And so he just look at us and say, "Can I try?" And Candice is just staring at me, and she say, "You have a bar." And I just said, "No, I don't have a bar." So at this time, we just talk about in a minute. During a minute, we just talk about what we're doing, but it's finished. You just say, you just waste your time with this this guy. So you're like, okay, maybe you will be there in an hour. We can bring you back a bar, and 1 hour later, it was finished. But hopefully, the day after, I just turned and I came across him again, and he's just like, "Hey, do you have your bar?" And I'm just saying, "Yeah." And
Yes.
I say, "Yeah, I have my bar. Can you try it?" So he take it. He just grab a small square. He taste it, and he say, I just need to remember, but he said nothing, and he just told me, "Can you give me your card? This one will not be lost."
Oh wow.
And 3 days later, someone of his office just called us, asking us to enter this Collège Culinaire de France, because he had asked the person to ask us. So, but and he asked us 3 questions. How do you pack it? what is your machine? How do you grind chocolate? And the third one, how do you roast it? But it was very technical, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But you only have 1 minute with those kind of great chefs, so you don't have to waste your time. But we managed to have two times 1 minute with them.
So 2 minutes total.
2 minutes.
So quick.
The Bintu Bar Chocolate movement was born in US, okay, and we always noted some differences between the US attitude and the European attitude, okay. So when we entered this market back in 2011, I remember during the exhibition a lot of chocolate makers that were sharing experiences, talking one to the other, helping, explaining how they used to make chocolate and all their secret. In Europe, it's not like that. Well, actually, in Italy, I can be sure pastry chefs, they are the only one that can make that recipe or their product. All the other cannot, you know. So they are not open. They don't want to share. About Chocolat Encuentro, about you, how are you? I mean, you are more as a US attitude or more as a European typical chocolate maker?
We are, I think, we are more American chocolate makers in the sense that we are totally transparent. We show our recipe, our producers. If you want to create the same bar, you just need to buy it. You will see the ingredients, you will see the recipe, you will see the cooperative or the producers, the country. You will see everything, so you can do everything. But our secret, which is our know-how, is how we roast, how we conch, how we grind, how we age. Yeah, this is something we create. It is our personal process, but that's what gives our bar a specific taste. We are not better than the others. The only thing we can say that we have high quality standards in terms of when I talk about the texture, the taste. We are not. You don't have. You like or you like not the way we roast our bar, or we conch it. But I can assure you, we have. This is high quality texture and the taste. We don't have bad taste. We are using good beans, and we are not over roasting the bean. But then you like it or you don't like it.
And how do you see?
You don't have. But I understand. French market is has been based on secrecy. There are a lot of secrets in the chocolate world. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the secret is because they take from the industry the chocolate just made, and then they melt it, and then they create their products. How do you see the differences between the new age of Bintu Bar chocolate and the classic chocolatier in France? That, like I say, you more the large quantity of them take the industrial chocolate. So the start is always with the same recipe, and then they can create the difference.
So you're right. In France, you have probably 1% of the chocolatier, because we have the same name, but only 1% are producing their own chocolate from bean, and you have 99% that are not doing that. I think it's probably the same in Italy, in Belgium, and
Europe,
in the UK.
Europe, yeah, but also US.
General, yeah. And it's true that when you enter a chocolatier shop, it will never, or maybe rarely, be written, I'm using the chocolate I'm using is produced by. I've never seen that, and it's very rare. And actually, it's not important. What is more annoying us as Encuentro is when I see a chocolatier buying from big suppliers, French, mainly French, making chocolate bars and selling it at the same price as us. You know, it's 7, 8, 9, 10 euros. whereas the only work needed to do this bar is just pushing the button of a tempering machine. You don't have the roasting process, you don't have the grinding, you don't have the winnowing, you have nothing except buying a bag, putting it in the tempering machine. So my only thing is that my only point is that chocolatiers shouldn't do shouldn't do bars. They should let it to Bintu Bar makers, because that's how Bintu Bar makers live. They live from those bars, and chocolatiers should just buy chocolate to make amazing things from this chocolate, to turn, I don't know the words, to sublimate it.
Yeah.
The main job of the chocolatier is to sublimate the chocolate, to create ganache, to create praliné, to create bonbons in general, to create many of other things. But the chocolate bars shouldn't be one of their products. And that's why with Encuentro, we have always refused to work with a chocolatier that wanted to buy our chocolate, if this chocolate was meant to be used to sell bars, single origin bars.
Wow.
We have always told them, yeah, if you want to make bonbons, it's okay, but if you want to make bars, you can buy our bars, because you're going to sell it at the same price, and it's not normal.
Yeah, sure. You already explained that to export is a complex thing, and you are not so comfortable. Okay, you don't feel comfortable in doing it. But I guess that, like any company, any business company, you are planning to grow. Okay, so which are the ways that you see now that are the best chance for you to grow? How do you are planning to grow as a company? New products, I don't know, you are going to make pralines and...
I have no clue, but what I can tell you is that we want to keep with what we do the best, is making chocolate and making and selling it through our bars. Chocolate bars will always be our main market. And we are diversifying our product with small chocolate things, but this is not how we exist. We exist because we make bars that are eaten every day by our consumers, and we are very loyal consumer in France and in Europe, because they have their favorite chocolate in our one of their favorite chocolates is in our selection of bars and beans. So they are very loyal. We don't want to create too many products, because that's my point of view, and then Candy's point of view. Most chocolatiers want to do everything. You want because you need it, and that's also our point with the store. When you have a store with you pay a high rent.
Yeah.
You have people to make it work, and to make it work all year long, you need to sell bars. You need to make bonbons for every important step of the year: Saint Valentin, Easter, Christmas, etc. During summer, it's too hot to sell chocolate, so what do? You do ice cream. And this is not criticized. I'm not criticizing, but I'm just telling, if you have a shop, you need to diversify too much, to our point of view. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep with chocolate making and sell our chocolate to people that are interested in, and sell our bars, because bars is the main chocolate product consumed in France. And I think also in Europe.
Antoine, how many origins you have?
How many?
Origins of cocoa.
We currently have 7.
From where? If I could
7,
know.
but the last 2, I will not be able to tell you, because they are going to be displayed in the coming months.
Okay.
But we have Dominican Republic, of course. We have Haiti. We have Madagascar. With Bertil Aquesson beans. We have Guatemala with Asochivite, the bean we get from Uncommon Cacao. We have wild Bolivian bean coming from a French producer, French Bolivian producer, based in Paris. So those beans are amazing, but the crop the harvest is very small.
So maybe this is one way to to grow. I mean, to increase the number of origin.
We could, we are increasing the number of origin, but it takes time. We do probably 1 to 2 new origin a year, but we need to make several tests before. For each origin, we do 3 to 5 tests, roasting test before, roasting and conching test before starting it. We had. We also it's hard to find a very good cocoa bean also, and we had some bad surprise on what was supposed to be good beans. So sometimes you lose time on making tests, and when you finally think you can start, no, you can't, because the bean is not good enough. So yeah,
but the supplier could maintain always the same flavor, the same quality, or not? You have a surprise each time?
No, since the beginning, we have never had any surprise with the supplier we selected. It's Oko Caribé, Pisa, Akeson, Asocivite, Emoni. Those suppliers are just great, and they are even increasing the quality every year. So we haven't had any bad surprise on those suppliers. I'm just talking about new suppliers we wanted to integrate in our selection. And but yeah, when we select a new origin, we put all our energy in promoting those beans, the story, and making the best chocolate we can. It's totally unbiased as a feeling. We select the taste we like, but we put a lot of energy, and we don't want to move to another origin 6 months afterwards. When we introduce a new origin, it will be for the years coming.
Yeah. So we are quite finished, and like always, we arrive to the last question we do to anyone. How do you see in 2030, and what do you think about the Bintu Bar Moment in the world within 10 years?
In 2030, I see we see ourselves as a company with where people are happy to be working in. That's very important to us. We hope to have more chance to travel to see producers, because at this time of the company, you cannot travel a lot. We want to be, we want that our know-how, we want our know-how as Bintu bar makers to be, how do you say that, more recognized. All over the world, I think it's not up to us to do that. But in France, we are part of the people that can say, hey, in France, we are making chocolate from craft, and there is something different in our product. You will like it or not, but you should try it, because most of the products are not made from the bean, and they are buying to another company that created it on an industrial scale. And you should try. You should try those craft products. There is something different, and the producer will be even more rewarded if more people are eating our bar, or the bar of our confrères. I don't know what you call that. Other French Bintu bar makers.
Yeah.
Okay. We are at the end of our meeting. Thank you very much, Antoine.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. We hope to meet again soon.
We will be able to invite you in our new factory in probably 4 months from now. We will be moving in a very nice place with brick too. It will be 3 times the factory we currently have, and the machine, the FBM machine, will be in a very nice place, I think.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.